Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self-relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Recording in progress. Got it. Hello.
Hey, hi.
You look super cozy today.
I do. I am. I mean, for people watching the YouTube video, I have a new chair, a new comfy chair.
Oh, it looks really comfy.
It is. It's so on Saturday, my boyfriend and I, we wanted to get a bean bag. We'd seen this bean bag that was like, you know how bean bags is a bad good idea. Like you think it's a good idea, but actually they're not that comfortable. Well, we'd found this one bean bag that was very comfortable, but it was something like 200 euros. So it's like, oh, do we get it? Do we not get it? It's a bean bag.
It's a fancy bean bag.
It is. It was decadent. It was so comfortable. And so on Saturday, was like, let's go and see. And so he was like, oh, it's not really, we can't really put our head down and blah, 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 which led into we need to find a bead bag because we now really want comfortable seats. And it led to buying 2 chairs.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
So
I remember when bean
like
bags used to be, yeah, that's nice. Enjoy them. They look fun. But I remember when bean bags used to be a thing. The problem is like those little balls used to get everywhere.
Yeah.
Somehow. And then you all get squished, and the thing, like after a few months, would just not be a bean bag anymore, be a bean squash.
Exactly. And so the one that we found was it was like this new technology of tiny, tiny, tiny balls. I think like memory foam, like mattress type, like really. I mean, it was like 200 euro bean bag chair. You were paying for something. Wow. And there were so many, like you would sit and it would just it very, very comfortable beanbag chair. But we're old. We're 30.
I know. I feel it too sometimes, like, oh my God, I'm getting old. I need to, my body is not as agile as it used to be anymore.
I know.
But no. Nah. 30 is still young. I mean, like, it's like, yeah. My mentality, as much as I'm mature and whatever, my mentality hasn't really caught up. Like I was asked not long ago how old I am, and I had to think about it. Like I'm like, oh my God.
I know.
Still feel young at heart.
The other day we were talking, and like somebody who was, so I'm 32 and he's 33, and we were talking about something like with a 20-year-old. Oh no, I've got a better story. Oh wait, did I talk about oh yeah, I did talk about how I was talking to an 18-year-old who didn't know what Mean Girls was.
Oh yeah. I was
like,
said that last time.
And then so yeah, this 20-year-old, he was just talking about just like school stuff, and we were like, like 20 doesn't feel like that long ago, but actually it's 12 years ago.
Oh my God, it's
and
a long
we're not
time
in
ago.
school anymore.
We're not in school anymore. Heck, we're not in college anymore. It's like, my God, it's like everything's changed.
I know.
People don't like, and the thing is that I'm so like disconnected from like, because I live in my own bubble. Like I have my, I work from home, I see my people and whatever, but I'm not part of like any, I don't know, clique or whatever. I'm not in the inside of what's going on. So I have no idea what's going on these days. I have no idea what's like, happening and what's different. I'm just like in my own bubble. So
I know.
who cares?
I know. So we
But
are known fans of Charlotte Dobray's.
yes, we are.
We love her, and we, thanks to her, discovered that there was a Reddit thread called "Today I Fucked Up."
Today I fucked up. Yes. Oh my God. Is that not relatable? Remember there was a site, I don't know if it still exists, that was, what was it called? I think F My Life. It used to be a
FML.
site like
Yeah,
FML, yeah.
we had the same one in France, which was called Vie de Merde, which was basically called My
Vie
Shit
de
Life.
Merde.
Vie de
Yeah.
Merde, with the R. Yeah, and it's basically people just talking about how. I mean, I don't know about FML, but VDM, the French version, is an Instagram page now.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
it's an institution. I mean, in France, it was really, really big. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew of it. Everybody posted stuff on it. My brother printed out FML, so French FML, toilet-related stories that he printed out in his toilet
Fun.
so that people could watch while sitting on the toilet. Yeah, it was a big thing.
Yeah. No, I haven't looked at it in so long, so I have no idea. But I just remember it used to be like a big thing. I don't know what, But yeah, I mean, we all fuck up sometimes, so it's very relatable.
Yeah, and I think there's something about reveling in other people's misery.
Oh, there is. It helps you disconnect from your own misery. But also I feel like, there's other people that are also going through shit, and it's not just you. It just reminded me. I don't know why. I guess I was a bit bored. I was curious. I saw this Korean dating show on Netflix called Singles Inferno.
Right.
So it's like, why not? Let's watch it. Let's see what it's about. And I'm like sitting there watching it, these 10, 15, however many they are, perfect people with the perfect jobs. They're all most of them are under 30 or just past 30. They have the most amazing jobs. They're so successful. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking, I'm like, oh my God, I feel so, like a loser watching this. But then I remind myself, and this is true to most reality shows, they bring the top 10 people probably out of how many in Korea, in South Korea. It's like, these are the creme de la creme of the society. It's not as if everyone in society over there is like that. And I have to actively remind myself that. And this is probably what a lot of people do. Like they sit and they watch this and feel like losers. And so it makes you feel bad that, like everyone's so successful but me. So it's nice to know sometimes that, not everyone is so successful. Not everyone has like perfect days 100% of the time, and we all fuck up sometimes. So
yeah,
I hope that spiel made sense somehow.
It did make sense. People like to see success, but we also kind of like to see when people fuck up as well. Just so it makes us weirdly feel better about ourselves.
Yeah, and it's entertaining.
Did I fuck up recently? I mean, probably. maybe while we'll talk, I'll have a story that comes up to me about when I really fucked up. I mean,
I'm trying to remember as well, but I can't seem to.
So I'll kick us off with a soft one.
Yeah.
A dating one, because obviously I saw Tinder and I was like, that's a story for me. Yeah. And so the title goes, "Today I somehow accepted a date invite and then stood him up without even knowing it."
Oh God.
And so she
self-awareness, people.
I know, self-awareness. So this is so I'm going to preface this with when I talk to male friends or clients or whatever, or just like generally male people who are trying to flirt with girls, I will say just take charge. Don't be arrogant about it, but women will appreciate the fact that they don't have to be making any decisions. And so, you know, I will say, I will suggest men to say, let's go for a drink. Would you rather go to a wine bar or a cocktail bar? Instead of, would you like to go on a date? I would say, you know, present the option of doing something, not present the option of doing something and doing nothing. Like, you know, and which is exactly what JT did to me, by the way, where, you know, we talked back and forth, and he said, so would you rather go for a hot drink or a glass of wine? I was like, wow.
That's amazing. It's like I used to work in a, I'm sorry?
No, go.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, when I used to work in a clothes shop, and my manager would always say, never approach with a yes or no question, always open with like, what can I show you? Would you like to see this, or would you like to see that? Like, don't go with like, can I help you? Because they're going to say just no, or even if they say yes, it's just like, you know, kind of, I don't know. It's like, it shuts off the conversation, kind of. It's like, yes, that's it, okay, or no. So you kind of want to, it's also like more decisive. You're taking away the choice, but in a good way, because then you have to decide, okay, so where are we going in this? And it's a lot of back and forth and whatever. And it's like, let's cut to the chase.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like when you go and order a burger and they say, would you, you know, do you want fries or salad with that? So, oh, well, you know, it doesn't, you know, it's on that, you know, it's tittering on, you know, slightly manipulative, but not at a horrible end. It's just, you know, you want to move things along, and it's everybody is fine that way. Because, you know, people need to know that they can always say no. Like, let's remind people that if you're presented with two options, neither of which suit you, you can just say no and just say, well, no, neither of these options suit me. And so, you know, however, and so when JT did that to me, I was like, I missed the part where you asked me out on a date, and he responded, oh, well, I just thought that was a given. And so we ended up going on a date, and it was great.
That's adorable.
I know, it's great.
I like that. It's really cute. It's cheeky. It's like,
it's cheeky, you know, and just as, you know,
and it makes him stand out.
Exactly, you know, and I showed this to my friends, and they were, you know, everybody approved. And that was great, because that was advice that I was already giving, and I was like, you know, see, it's amazing. Anyway, however, a key detail is that I ended up saying, yeah, okay, I'll go for a glass of wine with you, and we went for a glass of wine. The key detail, I said, I'll go for a glass of wine. I answered him. I gave him information. This is what happened to our Today I Fucked Up friend.
Yeah.
So the guy texts her. So she I can't see what she writes, but because I can only see that there's a question mark at the end of her previous message, but I can't see the whole message. So he says, we should do something together this weekend. And then a couple of hours later, do you have time later? Let's eat something. And then a couple of hours later, I've got us a table at 6 at such and such restaurant. You will love it. And then a couple of hours later, I'm leaving now. Do you want me to pick you up? Where do you stay? I'm already in Christchurch, wherever that is. And then the next day, you're a time-wasting bitch. She never answered to any of them.
She never responded
to any of them. So he wrote her a message.
Is she?
So the first message that he sent her, we should do something together this weekend, was at like 12. And then at 1, he sends her, do you want to do something later? And then at 3, I booked a table. And then at 5, I'm leaving. And then at 6:30, you're a time-wasting bitch. She had never responded. And it's like, dude, like I like the fact, to be honest, I liked the fact that he booked a table.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. I booked us a table at this time. I like it, because she can still say no. She can still say no. And you know, obviously, you know, just previously they'd been talking, and it's just I can't see the messages because it's a screenshot. But they'd been talking, so I like it. I like taking charge of just, you know, I booked us a table at this place.
Yeah.
However, Guy, you need
Like
to
the
wait for a
proactiveness.
response, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand why she didn't respond. But like also, you know, a lot of people aren't on their phones on the weekend. So like
I mean, it's not even like
mm,
I've got the date. So this was 18th of January 2000. So whilst you talk, I will
oh,
look.
that's a long 2000. That's a long time ago. Oh my
I know
God.
it's pre-COVID.
I was 2000? That was 20 years
No,
pre-COVID.
sorry, not 2000, 2020. Sorry.
Oh, okay. 2020. I was like, whew, did we even have WhatsApp then? No, we didn't. 2020. My God. I mean, I like a guy who's decisive and proactive, and I like, because I'm so undecisive. I like when people help me make decisions, especially when you're going out on a date, especially when it's a first date. I like it when they take charge and show that, you know, they're interested. It shows that they're into it and they want, and they know what they want, and they're going to go for it. And this is a person, you know, it shows who they're going to be. But then on the other hand, it's like, it's a little bit like you're unaware of what's going on around you if you're actually showing up when she didn't even respond.
She didn't even respond. I mean, so this was on a Saturday, and honestly, on the Saturday between 12 and 6 p.m., you know, I'll go to the, you know, when I was single, on the Saturdays, I would be going to the gym, I would be seeing friends, shopping, maybe cleaning up. Like, you know, I understand people who don't spend all of their time on their phone, and this is Tinder. So personally, I didn't have the notifications turned on Tinder because
neither did I.
Because it was so annoying, because Tinder's notifications were just so annoying. So anyway, so he's an idiot. So
did she write anything though?
No, she had written something. You know, they've been having a conversation, because I can see them, but it's blurred out, so I don't know what they were saying. So it's slightly suspicious that the fact that she blurred it out, you know, slightly suspicious.
Yeah. She probably like said, yeah, let's meet up tonight. And then like, I don't know. But didn't she write anything in the post itself, like in the Reddit post?
No, it was
she just posted it like that.
Yeah, she just posted it like that, and we're assuming that it's a girl, but oh yeah, time wasting bitch, there definitely is a girl. Today I somehow accepted a date today I somehow accepted a date invite and then stood him up, and without even knowing it.
And there must have been some miscommunication.
Oh, for sure. So I don't know that she, you know, this was in the Today I Fucked Up stream, so I don't know that she actually fucked up, but it's just,
yeah, that's why you have to be very clear. And he shouldn't have gone without, you know, getting confirmation.
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know what she said to him before. Could be she said, yeah, we'll meet up, we'll definitely meet, like, let's talk tomorrow and see what happens. And then she never responded tomorrow, but like, and he anyway showed up. I don't know,
but anyway, so yeah, so
that's
take
why we
charge.
Need to be clear.
Well, I mean, take charge, and then and then, you know, make sure that people, you know, are responsive, because anything could have happened. And I mean, tonight, booking a table at 6, I don't know where they are, but for me, that's so early.
It is early, but he also ruined it, by the way, because even if, like, I mean, we have to hear a person out before we make a verdict, and then a million things could have happened, and she could have had a very, very good excuse, starting with the fact that, you know, she never responded. So it's not as if, you know, he could say, yeah, you said you'll be there and you weren't. But then he burned himself off, because then he said, what was it? He called her a bitch, and she's not going to want to go out with him after that. So even if she had a good excuse that he would have forgiven her for, then
yeah, why would
bridge burnt.
This reminds me, so this wasn't dating. This, when I was traveling in Thailand, I got put in contact with this Thailand. It was so fantastic. I got put in
I know,
contact
going
with
in
someone
July.
who, oh,
Sorry.
amazing.
Yeah.
I got put in contact with someone who like was going to be able to show me around the city, and I messaged him, and he said, and I said, I don't have a Thai SIM card, just because I only want to be connecting to the Wi-Fi, because when I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, it just allows me to cut everything off. And he says, okay, fine. So I said, let's meet at this. I'll be coming back from this place. Let's meet at this time at this place. And he said, okay, great. And so I arrived late because I had been coming back from this place. I was stuck in traffic, and I had no way of contacting him, because I didn't have any signal. And, you know, I have a French SIM card, so connecting to like international broadband, you know, I'm sorry that I'm late for this guy, and I hate being late, but paying something like 10 or 15 euros to just warn this guy that I don't even know that I'm late, I was like, no. I hopefully he'll wait, and he'll be understanding. And so I arrive, he's not there anymore, understandably, because I think I'm like 30 minutes late or something, 30 or 40 minutes late, a decent amount of time. And so I run into a McDonald's, I connect to the Wi-Fi, and I text him, I'm so sorry, taxi was just like stuck in traffic. He responds saying, oh yeah, I knew you were going to arrive late, because I was so, you know, I knew you were going to arrive late. People always arrive late coming from that road because there's always so much traffic. And I was like, okay. He said, but you know, you wasted my time. You said you'd be arriving at this time. And I was like, well, I'm sorry that I arrived late, but you just said that you knew I'd be arriving late. So sure, and like you knew that I didn't have any signal. So surely, you know, I'm allowed some leniency. So blah, 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 and I hate wasting people's time, and you wasted my time. Like, I'm sorry. This retired French guy who's living in Thailand, not working, not having anything. Like, he made such a big thing, and he was like, you should have connected your international data to send me a message. It's like, I'm sorry, are you going to pay?
Oh
like,
my God.
Is your half an hour worth 15 euros? Because that's something like 6 times minimum wage in France. So is that like, honestly, anyway, so that is how that happened.
Yeah, look, I it's being late for someone and wasting their time is really annoying. I hate when my time is being wasted. I hate when people don't show up. I mean, it's, you know, when you set a date, then you just, or time or whatever, then you leave on time to get there. But you know, it's so sometimes things happen, you know, you get stuck and it's unpredictable, and there's not much you can do about it. So yes, it's annoying. So on one hand, you have to be like, okay, don't let someone play around with you and waste your time. But on the other hand, also be understanding and don't take things too, I don't know, just be more easygoing a bit, I think.
Well, yeah,
at the end of the day, because if someone, you know, you also have to talk to someone and understand, are they aware of what they did? Are they aware that they wasted your time? Are they apologetic? Do they feel bad? Then there's no point in making them feel even worse, because they already feel bad and they already understand, and they likely won't do it again.
Exactly.
I mean, if they're unaware and they keep doing it again and again, then that's a different issue, you know. It's like, but
if they're unaware, then you're just wasting your energy by being negative, because they just will not care.
That's true. It's a good point.
I mean, here it's not even, you were saying like be clear and communicate. I mean, I agree, but it's not even that. It's have some self-awareness.
Oh, self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is so sexy.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just, it's we were supposed to talk about today, I fucked up, but it's kind of reminding me of another situation, which, if you want me to cut it out, I'll cut it out. But
yeah, no, continue. This is good.
when I was single and dating in France, this was like just before, like just during COVID, like in between two lockdowns or something. I was messaging this guy from a dating website, not Tinder, another one. And he wrote to me and he said, "Did you see that I'm short?" And I was like, yeah, I saw that you're short. So I can't talk in feet, but I'm 1 meter 68 and he was like 1 meter 65. And I don't mind that. I don't mind it. It's not important to me. And I said, yeah, I don't mind. My ex was short. I don't mind it just as long as it doesn't become a thing. And he was like, what do you mean? It's like, I can't hear about you being short every day. I know you're shorter than I am. I don't give a shit. I don't mind. I just can't talk about it all the time. Is that okay? And he goes, yeah, but I've been burnt before, and and you're such a good looking girl. Thank you. And your type, I'm sure that you just matched with me and blah blah blah. I was like, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time because I can see that you've been burnt, and so I'm just telling you, like, I saw that you're short. I don't care. Can we please stop talking about it? And he was like, okay, great. And so we had like a bit of chat for a couple of, I don't know, days or maybe a week or so. But this was like Christmas of 2020, like November or December of 2020 in France. And so lockdowns were very complicated. And they had just announced that something about lockdown or whatever. And I said, and he and I were supposed to see each other. But then they announced a new restriction. And I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm going to cancel our date and let's push it back to January. Because I'm seeing all of my family for Christmas. And I don't want to take any chances whatsoever of lockdown and just all of these things. And anyway, so I said, I'm sorry, I just push it back because I can't be taking a risk. And he says, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. He said, can we not just move it forward? And because then you'll have the 2 weeks to get over it, blah, 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 and you won't be positive and blah, blah, for the COVID test. I was like, no, because right now I'm not anywhere near where I, usually live. So I'm not going to come back just to see you. Let's just push it back for January. And he goes on this big thing of, I knew you were gonna do this. This is because I'm short. This is blah blah blah.
Oh my
God!
like,
no, this is not why that happened. This is a complicated situation, and it's complicated to navigate. And I'm just doing the best I can, and blah blah. And he's like, no, I knew it. You all these girls, you're all the same bitches, and blah blah blah. And this is everything because I'm short. I'm not less of a man. Blah blah blah. I was like, right,
God.
So after that, I ditched him. I don't
understandably so.
Cut contact with him. And then a couple of, I don't know, months later, like 3 to 6 months later, he messages me and he says, hey, I'm just going through my on WhatsApp. He messages me on WhatsApp. I'm just going through my contacts, and I saw your name and I don't know who you are. Can you just remind me how we know each other? And I'm like, we're in our late 20s, early 30s. Like, are we really doing that in 2020
God.
or like 2021 or something? Like, I can understand maybe when you're a teen and you haven't got WhatsApp, but way back then, maybe. But this, he was like, I can't remember who you are. Can you just remind me how we know each other? And I'm like, yeah, we met on this website, and we were supposed to see each other in December, and it didn't work out. And he goes, oh no, like, you seem like such a good looking girl. Why wouldn't it work out? Why wouldn't I want to see you? And I said, actually, I was the one that didn't want to see you, because you got very upset at the fact that I didn't want to see you around like the new restrictions. He's like, oh, that's so strange. And I said, listen, like, the whole reason is because you put it in your head that I didn't like you because you're short. I told you several times that wasn't the case. So yeah. And he goes, oh yeah, I was such an angry kid back then, 3 to 6 months earlier, like, I was such an angry kid back then. And I say, how's about a second chance? And I respond to him something along the lines of, listen, I can appreciate you trying to take a second go at it, but you're an idiot because you're looking at me on WhatsApp, so you have our history, or you deleted me, like this was 3 to 6 months ago. So either you have a terrible memory about how WhatsApp and everything works, either you just don't remember our few weeks of conversation and the big argument, and I'm just like, that's not interesting. Like, I'm sorry. If you had come to me and said, listen, I apologize, can we try this again, I maybe would have considered it. But this way of just going around it and just being weird about it, I don't like it.
It's games that you don't want in your life.
Exactly. And he comes back and says, oh, well, I wouldn't want to be dating a bitter old bitch like you anyway. I'm sorry.
Okay, then you just proved your point, like that you haven't changed. You're still that kid that speaks like that way,
Anyway, so anyway, and since then I haven't heard from him, but I was just like, God, these people.
That one. Yeah, well, people sort of, I don't know, being stigmatic towards themselves. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not stigma.
Self-prejudice.
Yeah, they victimize themselves, and then they pretend as if it's like you victimizing them, or they're glorifying their victimhood and they're using it. I don't know. People like to do that these days, where they, even if it's based on something legitimate. Yes, a lot of women don't like short men. I commend you. I don't think I'd ever be able to date someone who's shorter than me. I like them tall. But yeah, so it's a real thing. But then you also have to make sure not to amplify it and harp on it too much, because then that's just, that what happens is when you do meet someone who's interested and doesn't care about your height, then you're making a big deal out of it, and then that is what's going to ruin it. So it's like, yes, it's a thing. No, it's not a thing with her, but you're making it a thing.
Exactly.
So it's like you're ruining it for yourself.
I mean, everybody, like, nobody's perfect. Everybody has these things they don't like about themselves, but you're the only one that sees it as much as you do. Like, if the only thing you concentrate on is that flaw, then that's what everybody's going to see. Because, and especially with men, I think it's different. Sorry to generalize, and we're going to get cancelled before we even start. But I feel that men can get away with a lot of flaws, physical appearance flaws, if they have the right attitude. I don't think it's as easy for women. And this isn't me. I'm not talking about like equalities of sex and whatever. I'm just saying that I find that men can get away with way more because they can cover it with like charisma and attitude and things like that. Like, if you look at a lot of male celebrities, you have a lot of male celebrities that are just not that good looking, but they are so charismatic or funny and charming and things like that. They get away with it. Less so with women. Some, yes, but less so.
Because society is less forgiving also with women.
Yeah. That's not where we're going with this.
But no, obviously agree. Not. No.
I do agree on that principle. So anyway, so this guy, and I was just like, so all this to say, have some self-awareness, dude. Like, and I think I may, coming back on self-awareness is sexy. I probably would have agreed with that if he had come back with self-awareness of I behaved poorly, blah blah blah. Like, can you give me a second chance? I honestly probably would have given him a second chance. Like, that would have been self-awareness, and I would have just been like, I also have things that I'm insecure about, and it can lead me to maybe behaving erratically sometimes, and I would appreciate people kind of being forgiving for that. But I don't expect like forgiveness off the cuff. I would understand people needing me to own up to it.
Yeah, and you also have to show, like, again, we speak a lot about like the showing versus telling. It's like, don't tell me you've changed, don't tell me you've matured and you're different now and you've changed and whatever. Show it to me. And he's shown you that he can say very well that he's grown and whatever, but he's showing you that he hasn't.
Yeah.
Like nothing's changed. So, you know, your actions speak louder than words, and that's a cliche for a reason, because it's true and it happens a lot. So yeah, should we do another today I fucked up post?
I have one like now, but I mean, if you have one, you can obviously do yours.
I have a few open, so I can probably just go for one. Okay, so how about this one? Today I fucked up by not picking up on an obvious hint. Let's see. Last Thursday I went clubbing and helped my friend behind the bar. I'm not sure if this is actually an interesting one. No, not interesting. Sorry. Yeah. How about you go first, and then I'll keep looking here.
Okay. Today I fucked up by finding out my girlfriend of 2 years cheated on me on a girls' trip to Ibiza. So how did this person, so male, fuck up by finding out that his girlfriend cheated on him? Me, 18 male, and my girlfriend, 18 female, have been together for almost 2 years now. She kissed a guy on accident quite early in our relationship, but managed to gaslight me by being relentlessly hard on herself about it, so I forgave her. Oh, I have thoughts on this. Not a problem since. She is my first everything. Love, sex, kiss, everything. I am her 15th body. Jesus. Third boyfriend. Okay. We love each other, or at least I love her very much. Since she is my first, I have always been kind of jealous about her guy friends or people who DM her. Nothing has bothered me too much. Recently, she admitted to having a manipulative habit, especially on guys, so I got a bit more scared. Well, today at 2:49 a.m., as I am writing this, and she is sleeping next to me, my thoughts got the better of me, so I started going through her Instagram DMs. A lot of guys hitting on her, but nothing put out of the ordinary except one guy. They had been chatting while my girlfriend was on Ibiza, flirting, talking about kissing and meeting. My girlfriend begged this man to meet because she has been thinking about him so much. I went through my girlfriend of 2 years' phone in suspicion of her cheating and found evidence from a girls' trip a couple of months ago on Ibiza that she cheated on me. Today, I fucked up. I don't know how I can recover. Should I confront her? In that case, how?
I don't understand how he fucked up.
So, I think the key word. So JT used to be a police officer, and we sometimes. I know, it's so sexy. Military, police, everything. And what was it? Oh, we were watching this show called Traitors, which you should definitely watch. It's such a good show. And so we were talking about how the ends justify the means and things like that, and we went in there this whole big conversation, and we were talking about breaking into houses. Anyways, it became a huge philosophical question. And he said, in the eyes of the law, if you break into a house and you discover a bigger crime, you will not be convicted for breaking into a house. Like, but it had, there's like in France, there's a scale of like what kind of like shadows like covers other things. So if you break into a house and discover that somebody's been murdered, or like, that kidnapped or whatever, like you won't get anything, or like you'll get a small fine, but it'll be okay. And so then he says, there's a principle in the French law that finding out a bigger crime will forgive a smaller crime, like an infraction, kind of, not the scales. And I think so. All of this to say that I think that this is kind of, it's a gray area. But if you're looking at your partner's phone is not good. But if you uncover cheating and gaslighting and things like that, like, you're not the one that fucked up.
No, I got so caught up in the story that I forgot, like, yeah, he did. It isn't okay to look at someone's phone, but like, I don't know. I'm wondering if he had a reason to be suspicious, like, because I know that, you know, she had a lot of men, whatever, and she's popular, whatever, but like,
honestly,
you know, that doesn't.
I find that there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah,
So I've
it's
got it
true.
on two sides of, I won't go into the long details, but I had the suspicion that my boyfriend was cheating on me. And I tried to talk to him about it, and he just gaslit me. Like, he was like kissing me, and you know, kind of, we ended up having sex, and I was just like, well, this is him trying to just like change the subject. And so I pretended that I'd forgotten about it, and then I looked into his phone, and he was cheating on me. And so kind of like I suspected it, and I was right. And then a few months later, because I was an idiot, I was a young idiot, I forgave him. A few months later, I catch him looking through my phone, and he's like, "You're cheating on me." And I was like, "What do you mean I'm cheating? I wasn't." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And so he shows me this conversation from Snapchat where I'm talking to another guy. And I'm like, "Did you look at the date? Like, this was 2.5 years ago. This is before." And it was like, oh, he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry." And it turns out that he was cheating on me again. So
Yeah,
no
because he's
smoke
trying to
without fire.
find, yeah, no, he's trying to blame you for what he's doing, and he's trying to make himself feel better, or he's trying to, like, you know, lower the suspicion maybe, or try to find a
Absolutely.
way to justify it. I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I never understood it. Like, because I think that cheating on someone is very difficult. It's not easy to just go and, oops, I cheated on you by mistake. It's not. It's like it takes, no, it
Yeah.
takes effort. You have to actively go out and go to another person's house and then hide it. And then it's like, it's not an easy thing to do. So if you're actively cheating and working, it's like, it means you're putting effort into it. So it's like, why not just put in the effort into either ending the relationship first, or I don't know, trying to get over it. What's the point? What's the point? You're just causing pain. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's chaos for chaos sake. And so this guy, this 18-year-old male, and he said it like,
Oh, he's
she
18?
18, she's 18 and he's
Oh my
18.
God, your baby.
I know, he's babies.
Ugh.
Let me just, and he said, yeah, so they're both 18, they've been together for 2 years, and she kissed a guy, and in speech marks, on accident, quite early on in the
No, you
relationship.
don't. You know, my boyfriend and I were talking about this a while back. You can't kiss someone on accident. I asked him, what would happen if, let's say, someone kisses me? What happens if someone just, kisses, like, I didn't do anything, he just comes and kisses me? And he's like, it's very rare that someone just randomly comes up to you and kisses you. It really depends on the situation, but like, if you're in a situation where someone feels comfortable to kiss you, then it means that some flirting was going on there, something's happening, and it's not as innocent as you may think it is. It's like, it's not, so you're putting yourself in these situations, and I don't like that, shaking off the responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, oops, we fell onto each other and our lips by mistake. No. Even in movies, that doesn't happen.
So I it happened to me once, and I will explain to you. I will explain to you, and you will agree with me 100%.
And
that
skeptical,
doesn't.
But I'll listen.
I will listen to you. I will tell you, but I will. Before this, I 100% agree with everything that you said.
Of course you do.
100. Like, it's. I mean, it's, you don't like on accident. Like, what do you mean on accident? and the fact that she felt bad about it just shows, well, that she pretended to feel bad about it shows guilt. So
yeah.
So you didn't fuck up. She fucked up. You confront her. You break up with her. You're 18. Like, you're too young for this shit. Anyway, so what happened to me is that I was at a club, so this was 7 years ago. Time, man, time, it passes.
It's yeah.
I was
Crazy.
at a club with a friend, and we were dancing, and honestly, I was dressed as sexily as I am dressed now. So for the people not listening and not only listening and not watching, I'm just wearing a hoodie. I barely brushed my curly hair, and I was just, you know, this was just, it was this like small dance thing. I knew the guy that let us in, and we just wanted to dance with a friend, and we were dancing, and there's a guy that kind of brushed up against me, and at the beginning I kind of, you know, I pushed him back, but I was okay to kind of just dance along, but I pushed him back, and then I turned my back to him, and he brushes up against me like aggressively, and so I push him away. I really push him away. I move to somewhere else on the dance floor, and then he comes along, looks at me, gives me a drink. I say no, thank you. And as I'm like, I can't really remember exactly, but I say no, thank you, and I turn away, and then I turn back again, and there he was, and he just kisses me.
Ugh.
And I lose it. I push him back. I slap him. Okay, like, this is amazing how some guys, they have a radar for this shit, and like you could like 4 guys just came, and they were ready to just defend me for no reason, but without knowing me. But you know, some guys, they can detect this type of thing, but
yeah,
I got so kind of just crazy. I slapped him. I started yelling at him. The guys came along. The security came. Like, the other guys, they were like, "She's fine. Like, we do not need to defend her. She is fine." So yeah, so I don't feel I put myself in that situation. I was just like, what? But what actually happened? Right now, I'm talking about it in a like powerful way. But at the time, I felt really bad about it. Of just like, not in the fact that oh my God, somebody kissed me, blah blah blah. More of the fact that how can I put myself in the situation, like. And the way I felt bad about it was I felt violated, you know?
Oh, for sure. That is disgusting.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't even consider that on accident. I felt, you know, violated. So anyway, that's how you can kiss someone. Like, somebody can kiss you without really you consenting to it.
Yeah. It just goes to show that no matter how careful you are, there's always going to be some schmuck who's gonna, you know, what can you do? It's just really frustrating that, you know, even when you're careful, it's like driving, you know, even when you're super careful, there can be some crazy driver on the road, and you know, it really isn't, you know, I trust myself. I know I'm careful, but I can't trust, you know, if there's any drunk drivers around me. I don't know what's, you know, you just have to be 10 times careful in this world, on the road, in the clubs, and wherever you may be.
Yep. And careful yet forgiving. You know.
Yeah.
And the conversation you had with your boyfriend, it's, you know, the way you talk about, like, what's the circumstance, like,
yeah,
and then you just kind of figure it out. I had a boyfriend at the time. If he had, and I told him about it, if he had been angry with me, I think I would have just dumped him then and there. Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, told
if
him
he can't be and
then that was that. But you know, the fact that
it really depends on context. You always have to seek context before you react, before you come to a verdict, before you decide what you're going to do, or before you just walk away. You know, in any situation, I think it's so important, you know, within reason. I'm not talking about, like, you know, crazy situations with violence or cheating or whatever, but like talking about, like, actually listening to what happened and being calm about it and composed and not overreacting. And you never know what, you know, and then, you know, once you hear them out, and then you decide how to react. Like, we have a tendency to argue with someone in our heads,
Yeah.
and then we react accordingly to that and not what actually happened. And that's just a recipe for disaster.
I agree.
So you have to, you know, and if you see that the person is remorseful, we're saying this beforehand, and you see that they understand that they did something wrong, you see that they feel bad. Like I had an argument with my boyfriend not long ago, and I saw he was already beating himself up about it. There's no point of me making him feel even worse about it, because he knows what he's done. If it hadn't been that way, if he would have been, oh, I didn't do anything, and you're just blowing this up, and you're whatever, and you, then yes, that would have been a different story. But, you know. Anyway.
What do you guys think of the stories that the very Alison concentrated stories I feel today?
Yeah, you have great stories. Bring them on.
I mean, I was, when I was editing last week's podcast, I overheard, like, you know, myself saying, I've been on 100+ dates. I was just like, yeah, I have a lot of stories. I'd forgotten about both of the stories I told until today. I was just like, oh yeah, those guys.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Tell us about your stories. I can see
tell us about
like,
your TIFUs.
Exactly. And then, you know, and just tell us anything that you would like us to talk about. We've got guests planned, but we're just waiting on them to tell us when they're available. Have you got any ideas? And and please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe.
Yeah, we need more followers. We need you to come and join us, because the bigger we get, the bigger we can make this for you. So that would be great. Yeah, so come join us. It's literally just down there. You see?
Down there, or somewhere on the side.
It's a subscribe or follow or somewhere around you. Look and click. You see that red button? You know, when you're a child, you just want to click, click, click. Anyway.
Do it.
Do it.
Anyway. Bye, everyone.
Bye.